was a video I wanted to react to yesterday, and again, I think he stands a little bit further away from what I've been conversing about, but I've also kind of taken a step back, played a lot of 4.1, and I'm sort of in agreement where I think this is going to go. I actually read his top comment or the top of his description to kind of like, hey, what's this video about? And I won't say it. We'll let the video play and get his POV. But this is basically Voidy vids on the Tier 0 implementation of Star Citizen of item insurance. And it's titled, "There's a Looting Crisis!" ! And we'll see what he thinks about it. So here we go. Oh, is it muted? It is. Hold on one second. I have had so many audio issues with Voidy vids. If you guys caught the Voidy vid that we watched, that was literally the best video he's ever watched. I'm going to link that in the description of this one. Best video I've ever seen him make, I should say. I will link that video in the description as well, because I don't know what's going on with my audio setup. I have no idea why comms were on that. When I edited the video, I literally watched the whole video through and the comms were there, so I have no clue. But there's a Looting Crisis from Voidy vids.
It's nearly been 2 whole weeks since CIG went and took away your space god-given right to loot most stuff from other players in our previously full loot PvPvE first-person universe shooter spaceship space game.
Okay.
As usual, some people are mad.
Oh god, there's players in here! Body!
Coming.
Some people are happy and the rest don't really care, because ultimately our ludicrous space game has a ways to go before any of this really matters. At least
I hate that argument so much, but while it being true, it's year 13 and the things need to start mattering. Like, the systems need to be put in place where things start to matter. It doesn't need to all come together and matter in Star Citizen 4.1, but they need to start putting in systems that matter towards a group and not I think, did I say matter towards a group? I'm like reading the Twitch chat. Like, just the things need to start mattering overall towards a finished product. And then it just looks like that they're mattering towards sending you to the pledge store. And that's like the struggle with that. Oh, nice, Rando. Sweet. Glad I could help.
In the context of how much stuff in a video game can actually truly matter, I guess. Now, I know this topic has been beaten to within an inch of its life throughout the Star Citizen community, but in the week since 4.1 has gone live, I haven't streamed a single stream without someone throwing in their 2 cents on the matter, and I enjoy the...
It's because most people can't participate in Hathor successfully, and the only other like truly game-changing implementation that's been put in the game is Tier 0 item insurance, right? So, yeah. And once again, just to preface before we have any of these conversations here, in Star Citizen 4.1, in Star Citizen in its current state, the Tier 0 implementation has a significantly higher positive impact than a negative impact in the current state of things. So don't think that I'm arguing that it doesn't. All right? But I am going to make arguments to where some elements of the game suck because they put this in, and some things are less fun because they put this in. That both things can be true. Right? Both things can be true.
Power trip of throwing around low quantities of imaginary opinion money as much as the next person, so here's mine. However, before I continue, if you're new to the channel, you need to at least appreciate that this is all viewed through the lens of mostly piracy gameplay that is made possible in Star Citizen today, which means I and my org mates spend most of our time searching for other players to extract as much value out of them.
I love how smooth he put that battery in and gave him just enough room to walk through. That was really impressive, actually.
For myself and our org as possible.
Do you have anything nice for me? I'll give you oxygen, you give me something nice. Equal trade. Fair.
That is totally fair. I have ammo.
Yummy oxygen.
I have ammo. I've got whatever you need.
What kind of scope's that on your S71?
So we're consistently and frequently in the position to loot other players, and after years of
where is this piracy you're speaking of? You're He literally set up a bazaar over here, an oxygen bazaar.
Playing the game in this way, the truth from my perspective at least is that looting other players' stuff in Star Citizen has frankly just never been all that interesting. There are rare occasions where a player victim might be wearing something that looks kind of cool and is probably worth taking, but the point
That is his main point. That was the top the description that he put. Is Star Citizen looting sucked anyway. So there's nothing that really changes this. But I also recall people getting really excited that they made the backpacks big enough for us to put armor in them. You guys remember that? This also hurts players, and this doesn't matter. Just to be clear, this shouldn't matter. This shouldn't play that big of an impact on the current experience that much. But when you really deeply think about it, people do 0 to heroes a lot in Star Citizen, right? They start with nothing, and then they work up and get a bunch of gear and guns and ammo and all this stuff. And those are kind of dead now with the current experience. Again, not dead forever, dead with tier 0, but not dead entirely.
Point I'm trying to make is that without item statistics or durability or any mechanic to make the gear and equipment that players have access to more interesting and actually impact gameplay on a deeper level, beyond the handful of attachments and scopes
I was just about to pause and say, tweaker attachments? Hello?
that can stabilize your FPS weapons, looting other players just doesn't really matter all that much.
Bye.
But if
Thank
it's
you
just
very,
that,
very much. You're a lifesaver,
he's right.
dude.
No problem, bro. Take it easy. Have a good one.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not ultimately a fan of the tier 0 looting implementation, and the sooner we move on, the better. And that's the real issue that most people seem to have, is we don't really know how long we'll be stuck with the current implementation, which prevents any looting of equipped gear except for ammo and other.
not gonna lie, it feels like we've had this for like a year already. That's how it feels to me. But I am a strong opposer of it. So.
Consumables. Contested zone gameplay probably felt the brunt of the sting, as you could acquire some of the aforementioned weapon mods that you're now gated from looting off your downed opponents, unless the player that you're looting had a bunch of stuff in their backpack. For me,
And they might, because you can only carry so many things, so the likelihood of them having like a P4 with all the tweaker attachments in their backpack is usually pretty high, I would say. And you're probably more looking to loot the keys off the players there anyway. Like, think about this is Voidy's point of view, and I've seen people oppose my point of view in Twitch chat, because we talked about it a little bit yesterday. There are very few, excuse my Twitch language here if you guys are watching on YouTube, poggers or pog or pogo or pogu or whatever moments, which is just exciting moments when you open a backpack. There are very few moments where you open someone's backpack and it's like, boom, oh my God, this is incredible. You don't have those moments. The only options you have of having those moments right now are at the CZs and Hathor, right? Because you can get the keys that you're looking for anyway. But again, if those people weren't there, you would just be able to get the keys for the PvE side. So it just maybe saves you a bit of time. There's really no like, oh my God, that is the key to the door that opens the garage that gives me an amazing shield for my ship or something, right? Like there are no moments, and that's why he mentioned stats. Is there's very few items that are stat improving or impactful enough to give you that feeling of just absolute joy when you loot someone. So he's 100% right. I love looting. I'm a bit of a loot goblin, so I just love opening a backpack and looting the stuff from it. It is just very satisfying. But in reality, I do understand just how correct Voidy is here, is that when you open someone's backpack, 99 times out of 100, it has nothing that you want. You're just taking it to take it, right?
Me personally, the biggest issue with the current way it works is the negative impact it has on emergent gameplay. You or I could imagine infinite scenarios where you end up stranded or ejected from a ship, or just generally in a situation where PvP combat has and is occurring around you, and looting a player's equipped gear could change the trajectory of your play session.
could save your life. You run out of ammo, you loot their weapon, it has some ammo in it, you go. Right? If they're not using the ammo that you have, you can't take their gun to use their gun and their ammo with that gun, right? Like it's so many like tier 0 needs to disappear as soon as possible, but still keep some of the elements that makes it better. But they have to fix the underlying way of like how you gear your character, where you get your stuff, how you interact with your inventories. And they went with this stupid item kiosk thing that is absolute ass. Freight elevators are a fucking joke. And that's the world we live in. And, you know, I can't access all my stuff from inside the hospital. I got to run 30 miles away. I can't just re-gear my player in the hospital. I want to re-gear my player before I even end up seeing my character in the hospital bed. I don't care if there's a UI, you are dead, what do you want to wake up with? Click, 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 click. I want my ship to be loaded out before I even wake up in the medical bed. That's what I want. Now, all of those items, I believe, should be things that were crafted by other players, things that I bought on a player market, and I should have them stored in the location that I'm respawning in. That's something I believe should stay a thing, including ships that you respawn in. But that's it. I need the accessibility to get back into playing the game and not fighting the game constantly in order to play it, right? That's my issue with things. And I don't want their quote-unquote gameplay systems to affect the actual game.
The inability to loot these items off dead players harms the fabric of...
Me doing Hathor, can't loot max lift, can't loot med gun, can't loot hand mining tool, can't loot railgun, can't loot different gun, was one tier 1 slap in the face after another. Yeah, like, because the guy that you're trying to loot has a subscriber multi-tool, like that means that I literally can't loot the attachment off of them that is available literally everywhere. Now, to be fair, Fran, who made that comment in the chat, you can find every single one of those items around Hathor, which is why they probably placed them there. But you killed the player. It's probably quicker to get them off the player because you know they have that stuff. So it's like,
citizen,
yeah.
And destroys any incredible stories you might have otherwise experienced and told your friends about for years to come, as rare as these encounters might be. I don't fall in the camp that the tier 0 looting implementation has totally ruined the game either. I treat Star Citizen patches like seasons, and this just happens to be the season of Battlefield in space. Some of the positive side effects I've experienced of how it currently works include how our orb mates all immediately started sourcing their favorite looking gear from one another to trade and match sets to customize their looks and then set it and forget it. Players...
Yeah, and imagine if they did that in higher quantities from players who were crafting them. Like, literally making my argument for me there, right? Is you have your gear that you like to use, you have your loadouts that you like to play with, you have your fits, to use an Eve term, right, for your ship. And in order to consistently use that, you have to consistently buy those items from players who create them, right? So he is, again, coming from the bias of a piracy player, and it must be really nice to just go again, right? But it's at the detriment of a player who wants to interact in gameplay like crafting, right? I'm the one who kind of loses. I'm the one who's losing out here, and it sucks, but it is what it is. Again, if it stays this way forever, then yeah, I think we know where crafting will be. right? It
Across
just
all
won't
online
be a
games
factor.
obviously care about how they look, and now that's possible in Star Citizen, and it's pretty cool to see. Something I didn't quite anticipate is that players I encounter on average are obviously more likely to be equipped with railguns, but their equipped ammo is fully lootable. So ironically, looting player bodies has provided me with a degree of excitement and a life savings worth of railgun cartridges to overdose on, which is just neat. The fact that most players in the community can get
Good
back
for
to
him, I
whatever
guess.
they were doing after suffering a death is a positive as well. However, that should speak more strongly to the clunkiness and friction of the equipment, inventory UI, and general bugs encountered that end in death, and highlights the lack of features to quickly and intuitively apply gear or save and restore loadouts.
Exactly.
Know that every time you regen, you get stronger. Win or lose, I'll be back stronger than ever before.
And lastly, every encounter with another player is now on average more challenging, as the chances that they're equipped with weapons that they enjoy and are
That's
proficient
true
with
as well.
are much more likely, which
It, like, super duper mega #1 positive is you are not killing people in white suits anymore. You do not see people running around in white flight suits. And I love that. I'm very happy that's a thing. That is probably the #1 most positive thing, is every engagement you have is a true and real kind of fight against legitimate danger, I guess.
for myself and my org mates at the least,
The
is
sperm
a good
suit
thing.
is dead.
In
I love
my
that.
experience with the patch so far, the practical impact of Tier 0 looting mechanics has basically made the game more fun, but ever so slightly less meaningful. And in a game that has little to no meaning of progress in the first place, it's ultimately not that big of a deal. However, the entire conversation regarding
Yeah, but to just throw that to the side and go, but yeah, there's no meaning anyway. Like, that's the root of the problem here. And you are completely undermining, with the tier 1 and 2 versions, a lot of that meaning. You are taking the meaning out. The meaning of risk, the meaning of reward for players, the meaning of death, the meaning of a lot of things. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's my argument here specifically, is sure, fine, great. You're 100% right, Voidy, but it's year 13. It's year 13, and we're just brushing to the side that there's no meaning anyway, right? And that's
looting mechanics
gotta
is
stop.
hopefully acting as a gateway discussion to something arguably much more important.
Yeah.
Oh, that
And I think that's what people are trying to do, is have that gateway discussion of something that's more important, and everyone is taking those gateway discussions way too seriously and way too personally, right? And it just isn't that. It's not that serious. It's like, we just want the game to be good. All right, here we go. Cutlet's about to lose it.
that's his respawn. Oh,
Oh,
there
no.
is a dead body flying around.
Known professional degenerate and streamer, Space Cutlet refers to this as the asset lifecycle of items in Star Citizen, and has appeared on various podcasts speaking up about this matter. Last year, CIG boldly proclaimed, when talking about Star Citizen's
Move
design
myself back. Sorry. Oop.
and
Unpause.
intent for
There we go.
crafting mechanics at the last CitizenCon, that a player could become the guy known for specializing in and creating a particular type of asset. Let's say that's me, and in this
Specifically a spaceship. In what world, in anything that you have seen up to this point, in what world would I be crafting a spaceship on a daily basis? There's no world, with anything that I've understood out of these conversations. No world.
far-fetched example, I unlock a few key blueprints and I'm now capable of crafting the best railguns possible in Star Citizen. Once you purchase a railgun from me, which is cool because this is some player market economy driven stuff taking place, as that design intent currently stands with proposed tier 1 item registration mechanics coming later down the line, you end up with a scenario that you will never need to purchase that best in class railgun from me ever again. You will simply register it and get it back in.
Cutlet wants to craft ships? Not necessarily. I think Cutlet has played other MMOs like myself and understands that he is a piece of the puzzle of what an MMO is, right? There's some people in MMOs who just wear pretty gear. There's some people in MMOs who just farm materials. There's some people in MMOs who just craft. And it's part of this like bigger world, and that's what makes MMOs special. Whereas I think a lot of the people who play here are either too old to enjoy MMOs now, or too have 16 dogs and don't have enough time, or whatever, or they think they don't have enough time. And it's more about like, I understand that I am a cog in the wheel, and the wheel is all of the cogs put together that all come to one center piece. And in Star Citizen, the cogs are us and the spaceships, and the spokes all lead to the wheel, to the hub, which is, the hub is literally the pledge store. It's two totally different things. So it's I don't know. Like that's my outlook on it, and I know me and Cutlet feel very similarly as we play other player-driven economies in MMOs and really like them. We've actively been playing Albion together. We actively played Eve together a long time ago. I'm still playing Eve. He isn't. And that's basically where my mentality comes from, is like, wow, it feels really good to be a piece of this huge puzzle in an MMO. It feels really awesome to like do something meaningful in a game like that. Whereas in a game like Star Citizen, I've never truly felt like I was doing something meaningful unless I interacted with another org and we RP'd that they needed ammo or armor or weapons or something, right? It's frustrating. You said it before, blueprints for items are what we need. Yeah, but oh, I see what you're saying. Like, if I bought something on the pledge store, you get that item initially. If you lose that item, you lose it forever. You have a blueprint to recreate it if you bought it on the pledge store. If you didn't buy it on the pledge store, no blueprint for you unless you earn it in the game. That is what I think should be there, but that is never going to happen in a game like this.
In perpetuity for a price until the end of time.
What?
I'm coming.
This
Not with the player
invalidates
base.
the fact that I found those blueprints and am capable of making these railguns in the first place. Now this marks an important fork in the road for a lot of players and has left many scratching their heads about how
You had an opportunity to help with the regen crisis, but you chose a Polaris instead. What? What are you on about? Are you living in RP land like any of that matters? What the fuck are you talking about?
crafting, upgrades, registration.
You're
and
living
insurance
on
will
another
work and
fucking
impact
planet, dude.
gameplay in the long term. Are the proposed item registration mechanics yet another stopgap placeholder fix for the near future that ultimately won't tie into the larger vision of the game once crafting and upgrading gameplay makes its way into Star Citizen? Who the fuck knows? All I know is that Star Citizen has a mind-blowingly high amount of potential, and it would be a shame if it misses the mark, devolving into content-driven patches reminiscent of theme park MMO expansions.
Somebody has a WoW background over there or something like that. As much as players don't want Star Citizen to look like Eve, I don't want it to look like WoW. Because what WoW does is you never lose your gear, but that gear that you did earn, let's say at Hathor, right? The really big shoulder gear that you get at Hathor, I forget the name of it. Once you have that gear in a WoW game, the next expansion comes and that gear is shit, and then you have to go do whatever the next version of Hathor is to get the new gear that is really good, right? There's just two ways of doing this. It's just, multiply the power creep, or have a player-driven economy, or do some sort of a mixture of it. And when you do a mixture of it, I think nobody's happy and everybody's upset. And I think Star Citizen's like kind of trying to do a mixture of it. And there's no right answer here. There's no right answer because somebody's going to be upset. Star Citizen chose, once again, like they always have, and you can tell me I'm lying, they chose the pledge store. By every decision that they're making currently. With the final design of Star Citizen, did they choose the pledge store? We won't know until we have 1.0. But at the moment, they are choosing the pledge store. So That's where we're
making
at.
content from previous cycles obsolete as we all gravitate towards the new shiny thing in the preceding patch. At the end of the day, I will continue to play and make below average content for our ludicrous
It's
space
above
game
average.
for as long as the game remains fun for me to play. As of right now, it's still one of the only titles in existence that is capable of providing this unique and insane gameplay, as buggy and as incomprehensibly broken as it
Doesn't mean I struggled mightily to solo try to steal some loot at Hathor today from some org that was doing it, but I had a fantastic time. Everything I'm saying doesn't mean I can't have a fun time in Star Citizen, but the ultimate goal of what Star Citizen is going to be is definitely straying away from what I would play day in and day out for hours. I just wouldn't, right? But I would jump in and have a good time like I did today every once in a while. That's for sure.
At times. But what are your thoughts? Did your mind change after experiencing Tier 0 looting after 4.1 went live?
It
is
did.
it as bad as you thought it was going to be, or
No,
is it
it's
exactly what the game needed? I'm
I don't think it's one or the other there. It's somewhere in the middle.
genuinely curious and am pleasantly surprised that I don't dislike it as much as I thought I would.
Same.
But it does need to evolve from where it is now, hopefully sooner than later. And
But again, my major issues are with Tier 1 and 2, not with Tier 0.
what direction would you like Star Citizen to go with regards to the item registration, keeping crafting and upgrades and blueprints in mind? Thank you so much for watching, and thank you channel patrons and channel members for all your support. Thinking of pledging to this ludicrous space game?
It just comes down to this. There is a lot of feedback given based off of the first implementation and the discussions around 1 and 2. And I really think they need to take that in. And I really think they need to maybe not reconsider what they're doing, but take the people's passion around this stuff as, like, I'm not saying these things to just shit on every decision CIG makes. Oh my God. Like, sending an absolute, as big of a heart emoji to Torsten right in the middle of CitizenCon as he was on stage, because just wow, the crafting demo blew me away, and it was like I knew he had a big part of it because he was on stage, and that's all I sent him. I just sent him a heart because it just meant so much to me, and then to have that basically ripped out from under me with some of these decisions, and it literally is. You cannot argue against the way I'm feeling here, because I guess it's just a feeling. It's just an opinion of where it will be. Nobody will actually know. I feel like it was just ripped out from under me. That whole, like, I just had a fantastic feeling in October, and in March, immediately it was just killed. It's like, holy shit, man, give me a minute to enjoy it. Like, could you have at least put crafting in to, like, have a feeling of fun for a second? They couldn't even do that.
Now from one of the illustrious patrons and channel members for a free 5,000 starting credits. Support from handsome viewers like you keeps this channel going, so if you want to help out beyond a like and a subscribe, consider becoming a patron or use the join button below, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/voiddude, or right here on YouTube for live streams. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you around the verse. Cheers.
All right, thank you, Voidy. Thank you for another great video and a good conversation. I think the ending thing of, like, hey, are you surprised that, like, how you feel about it? And the answer is definitely yes. I feel incredibly indifferent about the current experience. I don't think it really matters that much, but it is awfully annoying when people were respawning really close to me. So I don't know, but thank you for watching, everybody, on that one, and make sure you go give a like and a subscribe to the Void Dude. Oh, this is a little bit more difficult, actually, than I thought it would be to get this link over to you. Here we go. There's Voidy's video. If you don't know Voidy, he's one of the best people I know, and deserves all the world. And I think he has, as you can tell, a very grounded understanding of things, and isn't overreacting to anything as I might. So give him some love, especially if you're tired of my shit. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one, I guess.